Welcome back to a family business podcast. Brad, lead us into this episode.
Today, we are going to talk about why most agents plateau at 20 to 30 deals.
Well, let's just also, this is kind of market specific because 20 to 30 deals in like a market like Los Angeles,
Southwest Florida.
Yeah, Southwest Florida. You're probably like a rock star agent because of the average price point. But here in our market, where the average price point in our market's right around 240,000, it's a little bit different, right?
No, and the whole point of this topic, though, is that is a lot of houses. I mean, there's no question, regardless of where you live. But if you want to become an elite agent, like you want to be the top of the top, what are those people doing that's totally different?
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying, like, if that's their title, I mean, if you live in South Florida
Yeah,
and
I
you
mean, you'd be
sell $1 million,
pretty
there's
elite.
30 million,
Yeah.
I'd say you're probably doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Clarification, but we're all good.
Yeah. So
Here
we're
we go.
referring to more like a normal market like ours, not a extremely high price point market.
That's
when we
exactly
say 20
right.
30 deals.
And I know that you'll love a lot of these topics, Andrea. This is a lot of what Andrea does to grow our business and has helped us out over the years. The number one reason is it's a capacity problem.
100%. I mean, we've talked about this before. We had a point in our business where we just decided we would not take any, and this is also the market was different. So
Yeah.
listing stayed on the
And we didn't have an assistant when we first started this rule,
No.
and we just
I
didn't
was
have the help.
basically your wife, your business partner, your showing partner, your listing agent, the
Yep.
stager. I also was the photographer, and I was your assistant.
The stager blows my mind the most because that's like 2 hours of your day.
Oh, PT, you
Yeah.
should. We used to load up at the time
yeah.
my little Kia Sorrento,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
I
would
remember.
load that sucker up.
Take the
and-
table
and-
with us and have to unscrew it to
And
get it in the back
Oh,
and
I
screw
did
it
all
back
we
in.
when we. It's so funny because when I like first couple years of internship, I saw most of this. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I saw the staging, I saw the capacity, probably not to what it was at, but I got hints of it, and it's wild to see where we were at then and where we're at now.
How much more efficient?
I mean, it was exhausting. So it's not that I would say it's definitely, I mean, you reach a point when your business grows, if you don't have systems and people and you haven't learned how to outsource things that other people can do better than you, quicker than you, then you have a problem. So I think that's, I mean, reading your little notes there,
Yeah.
run out of time. I mean, do you remember how many times, oh my gosh, we would like be out showing houses and then it would be like 7 o'clock or whatever. And then all of a sudden we would remember that we had a listing the next day
Oh, yeah.
that we had to go take pictures for and it had to be staged.
But
and
we
like-
used to take our own pictures
I know,
too.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I'd be like, Brad, we can't go home yet. Do you want to eat before we load up the car to go stage a house? And you'd be like, we have to stage a house. Well, honey, the pictures
Like
are
who
tomorrow.
else is going to do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those where you're doing everything yourself. And this was more so even me before you and I met. I mean, can you imagine that I used to do 20 to 30 deals a year all by myself? I mean, can you imagine the quality of the pictures? And
They weren't very good.
well, yeah, right.
Or the staging, which
Or
we
the
get yelled
staging.
at.
but
once we-
also,
yeah.
what was your average price point at that point, Brad?
Probably a couple hundred. No, probably less. Probably 150-ish.
Sure.
So you probably didn't need as much staging or as nice of pictures at some point.
No, but here's the deal. Back then, though, there weren't a lot of pictures. I think when they went to the public MLS where you could log online on the
14.
internet, there were 7 to start.
Oh, well, 14
Probably
when
by
I
the time that you
What?
rolled around, there were 14.
front kitchen, back.
Yep. Guess how we actually took the pictures way back then, PT?
with a camera.
You got it.
Like that,
Just
yeah.
like that.
Sony
Yep.
camera, or
And
like
And then
then
you'd
the
have to
iPhone.
take your memory stick out of the camera. And then
Yep.
you'd have to put it in this little thing and then I would upload them and I couldn't really edit them. So if you got a bad picture, I mean, you just had to go back and take a new picture.
Why did I think that you took it with the wind up camera and then it prints out the photo?
You're
What is
real,
that called?
You're real funny.
Yeah.
Polaroid PT?
Yeah, Polaroid. Why did I think?
Well,
you
those
guys
didn't
took
wind
Polaroid?
up.
Well, you got to click. You can
Oh
click
my
it.
God.
So that's the number one is that it is a capacity problem, right? I
For
mean,
sure.
there's only one of you, so you just don't have the bandwidth.
Right. So the lesson there is like if you can see that you're ramping up and you're consistently doing, then you need to start looking at putting systems in place. And I mean, we talk about this all the time, but if you're not in an environment where you have a mentor or, someone that you can look up to that's already been where you're going to ask, advice and get some resources, then I'd put yourself in that environment because why do you want to just stop because you can't handle more, right?
Right. I mean,
And the bottom line is, if you're going to take more business on, you have to be able to service it
correct.
appropriately and market it appropriately, because otherwise you're just taking steps forward, but you're going to take a huge fall back.
Absolutely. And it's almost like a bottleneck, right? I mean, you're really taking all the calls, you're doing all the showings, and everything runs through you.
Well, right. You don't have a lead problem, you have a bandwidth problem.
Right.
And we started, like, one of the reasons why we had a CRM, we've talked about this before. People that don't have CRMs, I mean, I'm glad that it works for you, right? If you've decided you don't want to utilize that system, I think that's great that you've figured out a way to somehow magically make it work. But I can tell you, you're losing business. I guarantee you, you are losing business. And you might think to yourself, well, I can't handle any more business. Okay, well, that's why you should have a better system in the CRM. And the biggest thing with the CRM and your leads is, like, we've talked about this. PT, how long typically, I'm sure it's less now, how long typically when a lead messages in or calls
Uh-huh.
in or texts in or emails in for information on a property, how long do you have to respond before they call somebody else?
Oh, you have like 10,
Seven.
10
7 minutes.
seconds.
7 minutes. It's
Yeah,
seven
seconds.
minutes. And I'm
that's
sure it's
even
less.
getting
I'm
less
sure
and
it's
less.
less.
Right.
Yeah.
So the great thing is, if you have a system set up, then you have a way that somebody else can respond to them if you're in an appointment. Because I hope that if you're with a seller or with your buyer, that you're not on your phone the whole time answering calls for leads.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally would agree.
and here's an important question, because this can all spiral out of control really quickly, especially if you don't have the systems in place or the capacity controllers in place too. So how do you know, or when do you know that you need to either improve your systems or improve your capacity intake in the systems that roll with that? When should an agent feel, okay, this is the time to do it? Because I feel like there's never a right time, but when do you start to feel that
I
come up?
Yeah, I really think that you should, number one, you should have a CRM right when you get into the real estate business. No question about it, no doubt. They've been telling me that since I got into the business back in the top producer days, which I really tried to use.
That's not what Brad was. That's what the CRM was called.
Right, right. But it's crazy that, for all these years, it was like insanity that I would write everything down on a piece of paper, and then I couldn't find the paper with the telephone number, or I would load it
I'm
in.
having PTSD right now. Please stop. Just
Or
stop.
no, I mean,
Stop.
this is for you.
Oh, well, it was
you
still
when you came
happening
around.
when I came around.
And when I would save a number into my cell phone, or
But
not,
you wouldn't put
save
the
the number,
name.
didn't put the name, and would have to go back. And thank gosh that I have a pretty good memory that I would go back to say, I know that I talked to him around 1 o'clock on Friday, and
Does
try
this
to
sound
recognize the number.
familiar to any of you that don't have a CRM and you tell us that it's not beneficial? Do you do these things? Do you scroll through text messages and phone numbers trying to find the person that messaged you or called you? And I want you to, well, if you don't have time to put yourself in a CRM, you probably don't have time to track how much time you spend, but I can guarantee you,
Right.
you're wasting time.
100%.
And not to get too far off track, but can you imagine Brad getting a phone call during the Illinois game and he's scrambling to write something down and he's watching the TV?
Yep,
and he puts that down and it falls on the couch.
I've done it. I've done it. I
Have you lived my life, PT?
So I
Yeah.
used to, like, every day, for whatever reason, I used to always like to have a really clean desk, which I still do. You probably really noticed that, but all those papers go into the back of my car, and most of the time they get into the house, not all the time. So I would, before Andrea was there, I would have to go out to my car, go through 20 pieces of paper, and then I was like, there's that number, and then I still wouldn't save the number.
I think that's definitely a buoy tree. We like to write stuff down. Like I can't, like, I have to write everything down,
Yeah.
but then I'm sorting through 18 different pieces of white paper on my desk. And I'm
Do you
like, I
wanna
don't even
know-
know
I know
what
I
this
wrote
is
it
Do you
about.
want to know? I have a little bit of that in me, right? I do like to, but you know what I've gotten the habit of doing, because I know that Brad's going to come when he's looking for his piece of paper and move my pieces of paper. I take a picture of it with my phone. So I figure if somehow Brad takes that piece of paper, at least I have it on my phone that I can look on my camera.
Yeah.
If, if it's really important. If
Yeah,
it's not, that
Yeah, that's actually a very good idea. So a lot of people reach this income ceiling or transaction ceiling that they don't have enough time, and you can't necessarily work harder. You have to work differently. So let's just give examples of what we've done to make our lives easier. One of them is a CRM.
So another example would be a client experience partner.
Yep.
So
Sure.
a transaction coordinator or an assistant. Another one that, was recent is a social media manager
Yep.
to be consistent on that front and so forth. So that's kind of the generality of what we're talking about there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people think that again, outsourcing these things is going to take away the personal part of it. And I
Yep.
think that is you just have to don't rush into the decision, but also don't take too long, right? But also you just have to find the right person for you,
Yes.
right? And like for our social media, I mean, I was so anxious about letting somebody, handle that. And it's great because I mean, we still record the content. We have a say in what we're doing. We still post things on our stories. We post things on our social from time to time, but she just oversees it all, right? So it's like I don't have to have that pressure of, oh my God, I didn't post something today. Unless you're doing the 55 hard challenge like Brad and PT, then you have to post something, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, I just think that you really have to learn where your time, there's a saying as you get busier that you should take your income and divide it by the number of hours you work to figure out how much your time is worth, right, per hour. So you should really make sure that if you're doing things, that they would be what you would pay yourself that hour, right? Like agents get in a trap, right, of like doing the things that they don't need to do that aren't money making.
Well, they want to have control and they do not want to let go.
Right.
I don't know anybody like that. There's nobody on either side of me like that.
Well,
But
yeah, to answer my question just a little bit ago, when do you know when to make these moves? Well, it's all about looking at yourself in the mirror. What do I do well? What do I not? And what do I not get done at the end of the day?
Right.
And then there's your answer right there. That's what you should be hiring out. Oh, I didn't get around to making my social media post. Maybe that's something. Paperwork is keeping me up till 12 o'clock at
Yep.
night. That's what you should be looking at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
that's how
the
you do it.
risk is not letting go, right? The risk is staying the same, which is what a lot of agents do, that they want to just gather all the control. They don't want to hire anybody to help out. And then all of a sudden they can't figure out how they're not increasing their business, that they're not leveraging correctly.
Well, and to your point, PT, when is the time? Well, if the time is where you can't train those people properly that you're hiring, you've already passed the time, right?
Sure.
So you need to make sure, and it goes back to what we talked about on another podcast. I mean, at some point you just have to take a risk, right? You're building a business, right? It's like if you have a restaurant and it's doing well and you're at capacity and you're sold out all the time. I mean, do you open another restaurant? I mean, does that cost more money? Is that a risk? Are you worried that's not going to fail? Sure. But if your goal is to continue to grow, you have to take the risks that put you in the best position to continue to grow. So some of those things is outsourcing things that somebody can do better than you in a quicker amount of time, and it makes sense in your income.
Yeah. And I really think a lot of real estate agents, they just keep doing the same things over and over, and they do what they watch. And like there's the old adage that goes that 10% of the realtors sell 90% of the business, right? So these
They're
are the people.
saying 5% now this year.
So even less. So they're looking at these people that are not, getting past these, like, number of deals is probably a good little benchmark, but they're not the elite agents, right? So what they're doing is they don't have a clear growth path, right? So good ideas are to mirror somebody that is one of the top agents or hire a coach.
1,000%.
Sure.
And I think that Abby, who was on our previous episode, what she's doing right now and with this little accountability group is fantastic. And it's the easiest way that's free, right? So we talk about a coach, costs money and so forth. Sure, it's a risk. Maybe that's something that does fit the bill. But if it doesn't, find somebody that's either in your office or on your team, or that's just involved in the industry and the community that you like to be around, that has the same drive and interest as you to be better. And that's your accountability
100%.
right there.
And if you don't have the money to like hire a coach, go to conferences, go to education things.
That's also expensive, but it goes back to what PT just said. I mean, put yourself in the right environment. Okay. And maybe that means that you're somewhere where your split isn't as cheap as somewhere else. Maybe that means that, you're not getting as many leads because it's a different set. I don't know what that looks like for you, but anybody that's going to be worth a crap in teaching you how to do something or mentoring you how to do something, there's going to be some kind of cost. Yes, it's free in the sense that like you don't write a check like you do a coach every month, right? But don't just stay in an environment.
Your time, right? Your time and
Right.
your
Yeah.
knowledge and where you put yourself, right? I mean, everybody can sit in their office and turn on the TV or scroll
Play
on their phone,
solitaire.
right?
Yeah.
But the simple act of you getting in your car, driving to a coffee shop, or being in your office, is the biggest game changer right there.
Well,
Yep.
and you can't really have a growth plan if you're not surrounded by anybody that's more successful than you. And then that sounds like a crazy thing, right? But it's one of the reasons why we hired a coach. I mean, we didn't hire our coach to help us sell more real estate. I got the popsicle going,
Yeah.
guys. We didn't hire a coach to help us sell more real estate or pick up more clients per se, right? I mean, sure, if we have questions on that, can he advise us on that? Yeah. We'd already done all of those things. Like we had done that consistently for 10 plus years, right? It maxed out at the capacity for our marketplace. But there's nobody in our market that could tell us what the next step was, right?
Mhm.
Okay, well, what do you do after you've had a killer successful real estate career selling real estate for 10 years? And you still want to do some of that, right? But you also feel like it's time for the next chapter. Okay, well, you have to hire someone who can help you figure out what that kind of growth looks like. You can't ask somebody that's never been. What's the thing about the proverb? You're going up the people going up the hill. I don't know what I'm
You want to
saying.
talk to the people that are coming
Back
back
from where you want to go.
Where you're going.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And with growth too, I mean, there's so many different avenues. For example, you can, and what I'm being coached on right now is to be a leader for this year. Like that's my goal and growth this year is to be a leader, whether that's in the community or within our office or for myself and in personal relationships, but also, a business owner too, right? So we talk about, we get to this point where we feel that we're plateauing or we're feeling overwhelmed. And so then we have to switch to a mode of business owner. And that's a part of growth as well,
Yeah.
as how do we grow as a human?
100%. Yeah, there's no question. So once we get all these systems and once we, really kind of hire out all the items that are the time suckers, for a lack of a better word, that then frees up time that you're going to be a much better agent, that you're going to have more energy when you're with your clients as well, right?
Yeah, and that literally was one of the reasons why we started to implement some of these systems and hire people to assist. It wasn't, I mean, honestly, like, sure, we would have liked free time, but all that happened was we were just able to take on more
More
business
business. Yep.
and service them better because that's what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast when I started to say that, like, we had a point where we wouldn't take any more than 30 active listings. And that was because we felt that that was our limit and capabilities of what we could do to service them. So that's why you have to look at scaling some of those things to make sure that you're set up to scale and take care of the business.
Agree. Do you remember back 2013, we had our best year that we had ever had, and we were so tired after that year that the next year was not a great year. And this is a great example of not hiring out these services that you don't want to do. And when we did, amazingly, a lot of people really think when you hire that person or you hire things out that that's going to cost you a ton of money. You'll be amazed how your income actually becomes more consistent when you do that.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that it's not that I didn't want to do the things per se, but it's like you don't want to do them after you've been showing
Oh,
proper
yeah.
result. You're exhausted, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like you have to, then you can't show up good for anybody,
Right.
right?
It's like you get to like the point of your day where you feel that you're done, but then you realize you have more to do. That's
Yeah.
kind of that list that's like cut at the bottom where you're like, oh, that's it's not that like Andrew, so you don't want to do it, but it's the stuff that gets put on the back burner that you just didn't have the time that day to do.
Well,
Exactly.
and the thing is if you want to be successful and you want to continue to grow your business and you want to treat it like a business, you have the responsibility to take care of your crap that needs to be taken care of. And you just, for me, like, this is like, I couldn't go to bed at night if that's what it meant. I mean, so sure, I can go to bed later and then I'm tired, but also if I went to bed, then I just lay in bed and think about the things I didn't get
That you
done,
didn't get done,
that
yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
have to deal with. So
Yeah.
I just think that's important. But I just think the bottom line is that sometimes people scale too quickly, like, which is a good problem to have, right? Like we have an agent, which we'll have her on a future podcast, that literally just like in her first 2 years, I mean, just last year, I don't remember how many deals she did, but just exploded, right? Like her first year, she did a really great job. Her second year, full, because her first year was just part time because she was an assistant prior to that. And she just all of a sudden was like, whoa, I just need to breathe and I need to figure out how to systematize this and utilize the things that, I can to make my business run smoother so I don't feel like I'm going crazy, right? So I think sometimes it just happens too quickly because people are just too good at your job, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But also I just think sometimes it's ego. I mean, and what you just said, like where you want control of everything because you think that nobody can do it as good as
Yep.
you. And that's ego. And unfortunately, your ego, just like anything else, is what's going to hold you back from growing even more.
And it's impossible to do everything well when you're that spread thin too, right? Even if you're good at things, I mean, you're just tired.
Corners are going to be cut.
Yes,
No
that's
doubt.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
things just get put to the wayside and aren't done to the 100% that you can do it.
Well, and you
Exactly.
just can't be fully present in anything you're doing because you're just worried about
The
what
next
you
thing,
have. Yeah,
and the
exactly.
next phone
Yeah.
call, the next appointment, and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always something more. But yeah, I mean, this is very interesting, and it was one of those that it was a topic that I looked at and I really thought, wow, I was this agent back in 2006. And then I met Andrea and, you know, everything changed. She was my first, I would say, real assistant. She like got me really
Can you pause? Can you
organized. Yes.
pull off your wedding ring? What does it say on the inside of your
Well,
wedding ring?
it does say that you're the head coach.
Head coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The inside of Brad's wedding ring says "Love your head coach." So I don't know what this assistant grade is. But
No.
that is true. But I also I was going to add that, and it's funny because that was a perfect segue there, Brad. Because I also think that sometimes people plateau because they don't know that they're capable of more.
Correct.
Right. So I think that that's just always kind of been in me, right? Like where if I see that somebody has those traits or that grit or that drive, like it's hard for me not to push them to be better, right? I had people that did that for me in my life, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think that is something that I was going to say is like if you're not in an environment where someone's pushing you to grow and pushing you to do more, if that's what your goals are, then again, I would reflect on where you're at because you should be surrounded by people that want you to continue to get better and continue to grow your business if that's what your actual goal is. And that's really what happened for. I mean, I literally just called you out and I just said like, why are you not the
Why
number
are we
one?
not? Yeah.
I think actually what I said to you back in 2000, when we bought our house, what,
6.
9? No, honey, you were living with me because I remember the little tiny hot tub in the
Oh
backyard
yeah, that
on
would
the
have been
old
like
deck.
08, 09 when we had that conversation.
And I literally
yeah.
just said, why are you not the number one agent in the company? And Brad literally said, and this is our previous brokerage at the time, there's what, 400 agents?
Yeah.
And Brad literally said, are you kidding me? Do you know how much those people sell? And I said, well, why
can't you? Yeah.
Well,
No, and you're right. Yeah.
and it goes all the way back to this old sports adage, right? And this one's probably it has the same framework that works with this. But you know, if the coach isn't yelling at you and pushing you, you know, if this coach has gone silent on you, you're not in the right room, right? You're not
Yep.
in the place where you need to be the best person that you can be. And
Yeah.
so, if you feel that people have given up on you or are pushing you, then it's time to take a peek behind the curtain and see
Yeah,
what
to
else
see
is
what's
available.
going on. Yeah. Yeah.
well, and if you don't want to be pushed, then I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Just stay where you are.
Then
There you
stay
go.
where you're
I
at.
mean, I
Well,
can't.
and do you remember, Andrea, like when we met, I was on the verge of I was going to have to, and I was ready to make that step to hire an assistant in 06. And little did I know that I would gain a business partner that I didn't have to.
I corrected that.
Well,
that was a good one, baby. Good
that
one.
I didn't have to pay a salary to. But if I wouldn't have met
Oh,
you,
honey, you paid.
well, yeah, you were pretty expensive. But if I wouldn't have met you, I would have had to have hired out.
Yeah.
And I was at that point where I knew that had to happen. But as luck had it, I ended up meeting you, and that ended up working great. And then later on, though, we reached another point where, you know, we had that great year, and then we got burnt out where the two of us couldn't do anything more. So we ended up hiring a full-time assistant to go along with the two of us. So that was a big move for us then.
I'm sorry, guys. If you're watching on YouTube by some chance, I'm distracted by our dog that's so cute out
that's
the window. So I was
Ivy
taking a little
May,
video
yeah.
of it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's almost her dinner time, so
She's
we're
getting
getting
pretty
really
hungry.
close here. But
Jeez.
yeah, this was a great episode. I love the topic. Like I had mentioned, I was there.
There you go.
Oh, I thought you said I thought you were going to say I love the topic that I selected,
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah.
which is true. You did
You
select it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people, you know, can resonate with this certain part in their business, right? You know, there's always a time where, you know, if you push yourself hard enough that you're not going to hit that, you know, you're on plateau at some point. So,
Exactly.
you know, if you feel that you're in this spot, you know, feel free to shoot us a DM and we'd love to have the conversation or share the story on how you maybe got through that plateau in your business. We'd love to hear that as well.
If you think everything that we're saying is crazy, message us that as well. We'd love that.
We
Yes, we
we
will.
love conversations. So
We absolutely do.
let us know.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.